Hi guys, today I'm going to show you 15 very useful Photoshop hacks and they're very easy and they're probably something that you might or you might not know. So this is something that if you start working on, you will be working on Adobe Photoshop with less hassle and you will look like a pro to your boss or client. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you can create a new layer without actually using your mouse. So the shortcut or the hotkey for creating a new layer is Control, Shift and N. And you have a tab that says New Layer. You can change the name. Let's say you say, I am changing the name to Red Paint. So I have a new layer that says Red Paint on the right bottom. So this is how you can do it, and simply just keep on adding new layers without touching your mouse again. Now let's see what we can do with this red paint layer. I want to change, I like this green color, but I want to change my paint to, let's say, red. My client doesn't like green and he says change this color to red, but you already have an image. What do? So what you can do is you can go to your brush tool by simply pressing B, uh, go to your new layer and pick a color. Since you want red, so you can pick a color here. You can adjust the size of the brush and just simply start painting over it. Yeah, let me adjust the size of the brush. All right. Yeah. Oh yes, you wanted red, so see how red my wall is getting. You can practically do this with any shiny object. So now my green wall has changed into red. This is what my client needed, right? No. Now after this, if I show it to my client, he's going to throw me out. So what you will do after doing this horrible coloring that I've done, you'll go to your modes and choose color. And see, your green color has changed beautifully into red. So it looks like the wall was never green. And then you can probably just adjust a little bit more by this paintbrush tool and make it more red, and then you will not be seeing green at all. Alright, you can do the same thing here on this green. I'm going to completely change the color of my wall to red. Don't worry if you have done some mistake like this. Simply go to your eraser tool and make sure your opacity is 100 and just erase it off. And then your green wall has actually changed into red, and that too so easily, right? Okay, so the next hack is how to replace a color. Now I've already shown you how you can change the color of any shiny object or wherever you're getting any sort of glossy effect. But what if I want to change the color of this gray wall? How do I do it? It's very simple. You don't have to go anywhere. Just again create a new layer and let's say I will name it as dark gray because I want the color of my wall to be a little darker. So I'll go to my original layer, which is layer 0. Then I'm going to go to image, and then I'm going to go to adjustment and I'm going to replace the color. I will choose the color that I want to replace. So I'll click here and I just want it to be a little darker. After doing this, if I'm not satisfied, you can play with a little hue, a little saturation, and if I want to create it light, do it lighter or make maybe a darker tone. So I will do this. This is how I've changed the image from what it was initially and now how it is. And for doing this, you actually don't need a new layer, but I just wanted to show you how you can create again more layers without using the mouse. So now the next hack that we're going to do is how I can simply merge these layers into a new layer. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to merge all my layers. Let's suppose you have a Photoshop document with a lot of layers or even few layers like I have here, and you want to maybe need to merge them, but you want your initial layers to be retained and stay like that, stay in their original state. So you don't need there is no special feature in the Photoshop. There's only a hidden hotkey which a lot of people don't know about. So I'm going to show you that. What you need to do is, by doing this hotkey, you will combine everything and a new layer will pop up, which will be merged layer of whatever work that you have done till now. So the hotkey is Control, Shift, Alt, and E. So you can see a new layer has formed, which is called layer 1. And this layer 1 is a merged layer of all the layers that I already have. What if I just want to see this and not my layers? So my next hack is isolating one layer. For isolating any layer, you need to just press Alt and click on the layer you want to isolate. So I'll just click on my layer 1. So you can see the eyeballs of my previous layers have been shut off and only my layer 1 is visible. And if I want to unisolate my layer, so I'm going to do the same procedure. I'm going to press Alt and I'm going to click on my layer 1 and all my layers are switched on. So if I want to go back and see how my work was initially, how this image looked like, so I would want to isolate, let's say, my initial layer, my layer 0. So again, I'm going to press Alt and click. See, this was the image which was the original image, and this is the image that I've changed it into. Okay, so the next tip is how will you jump from one layer to another without actually going to your layer bar and doing it physically by your mouse. So there is a hotkey that you can apply, which is Alt and your bracket key, and you can quickly choose any layer above or below by the selected layer by holding down Alt key and pressing the right square bracket or right square bracket to choose the layer above or left square bracket to choose the layer below. So if I'm at layer 0, I'll press Alt and bracket, right bracket, I'll move up, and Alt and left bracket, I move down. So this is very interesting tip if you don't want to uh, use your mouse and just work with your keyboard. And like the last tip, you can quickly move a layer up or down by pressing Alt instead of pressing Control instead of Alt and pressing these square brackets. If I need to move my layer 0 on the top, I'll press Control and I'll just move my square bracket of right. So now my layer 0 is above my layer 1. It's very nice. I mean, if you try it, you will enjoy working on Photoshop, and it is very quicker. You will be wasting less time and your boss will be quite impressed. Our next hack is clipping mask. You can quickly add texture to a layer of type by clipping another layer of content to that type. This technique of clipping mask can be used to target an adjustment layer just to one single layer or keep something automatically limited within the pixels of the layer it has been clipped to. Let me just give you an example what I'm talking about. So let's say I'm adding a text. So the shortcut for text is T. I'll write a text and I want it to be a little bold. So let's say I'll just say this is, I need to change the color. It's going to be black, and size I'll take 60. All right, bathroom work. Uh, Boss, or maybe we can choose Broadway. Yeah, that this is cool. All right. So once you have chosen uh, a text and you don't want it to be simply black, you want something interesting, or you can say there's some colorful effect on it. So what you need to do is you just need to take an image. I will choose, let's say I want this image to be clipped on my text. So I'm just going to drag it from here and push it on my layer that I'm working on, and I'll right click it and I'll say create clipping mask. If you can see, my text has been changed, and I can change it further, the effect. If I want faces of people, this is how the clipping mask works. Not just this, you can add or subtract a text. You can still change the text if you would want to. You can just press T, press on your text, and I will add second. It's black in color. You go back to your layer 2 and just shift your layer 2. So now you can see how the effect of the text is changing. This is a hack that a lot of designers, billboard makers, and interior designers and architects use. This is something that is very interesting, very easy, and very quick way of making your clipping masks. Okay, our next hack is quick selection. For quick selection, you don't have to use your marquee tool or your lasso tool. What you can do is you simply press Q and go here, double click it on your quick mask options, which is on the left, and from masked areas, you click selected areas and then press OK. And once you press Q and start selecting any area by using a brush tool, just color it and then leave it and press Q. So this is the area that has been selected. You can cut it or you can copy it wherever you want to. So this is how it's going to work. For cutting it, you have to be sure that you're on the layer that you want to get it selected from. And then on the arrow you can see a scissor mark. You just click and drag. This layer gets completely cut off from the original layer, and I'll just delete it. So one of my wall is red and rest are green and white. It looks funny, I know, but it's just for the tutorial. You need to learn the hacks and not the way I'm doing it. The next hack I'm going to show you is one of the most important and widely used blend modes in all Photoshop and for n number of tasks. It is the best tool if you want to blend one image to another, and it removes the background and add the second image to the first one as if they were one. So let me just give you an example. I'll take this image and I'm just going to copy it on my by dragging it into my uh, file. So this is what this image is. And now if I want this girl to this painting to be on this wall, and if I want to put it and I have to I want a feeling that it is a part of the wall and it was done on this wall itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layer 3. It has been copied as layer 3. First I'll change the name and I'll call it painting. Then I'm just going to go to my blend modes, click here and just look for multiply and click. So this is how the painting will look like and becomes a part of your first image as if they were one. And then you can just edit it. I don't want it to be like this. Yeah. So this is our hack number. I don't know. I've lost count. So the next hack is duplicating anything. In Photoshop, you can duplicate almost anything. You just have to be sure that you are on that layer. So to go to any layer that you're seeing, you don't have to go to the layer toolbar. You can just right click it and you can see the options. I want to, let's say, duplicate the painting layer. I'll click the painting, press Alt and I drag. Yes, I'll simply drag and I'll put it here. So I am basically duplicating my painting layer. If I want to duplicate anything else, I can do that. I can go to my bathroom work 2, select it, Alt, and I'll just shift it. And I'm duplicating that too. The image has been clipped to this text and therefore only it's visible on this text. Now let's see how our original image was like. So I'm going to go to 0 1 layer 0 and we can isolate it if we want to see how our original image was like. So I'll just press Alt and click it, and if you can see I cut that image initially when I was doing the red paint. Okay, so now our next tool is how to change the opacity. Let's suppose you have this image and you want to add one layer and yeah, I'll just fill it with white color, but then you're not able to see what is behind this white layer. So you want something which is a little transparent and you can write on. So usually what you do is you go to the opacity and you decrease it and then you fill the layer so that you can see the image below. But instead of doing from here, if I tell you that you can do it only by using your keyboard, and that is our next hack. So you just need to click on your paint bucket, and once you are on your paint bucket tool, then you just write 1. So your opacity changes to 10%. For 2, it is 20, 3, 30%. You're just pressing keys from your keyboard and that's how your opacity will change from 4 to 40, 5 to 50%. And if you want 100%, just press 0. So let me just give a 30% opacity. That's how it's going to look like. And if you want to change the fill opacity, you just simply need to instead of doing instead of just typing 1 2 3 4, you press shift and then you press 1 or 2, and if you see on the right your fill opacity changes and even it is visible on your screen without even touching your mouse. So that's how you can change the opacity. And if you're not if you're using a brush and you are let me change the color to red, and if you're using a brush but you want a brush with 10% opacity, then you can just press brush and say 1, and that's how your opacity changes. 5 50%, 9 90%, 0 it's 100%. So that's how you can change the opacity of any tool, or if in general you want to change the opacity, just press or V for your arrow and press 5. So your general opacity of that particular layer decreases. Since I've selected layer 1, my layer 1 is decreasing. If I have selected layer 0 and I've pressed 6, the opacity of that layer decreases. Alright friends, now let's move on to the next hack. Our next hack is duplicating a layer. We already have layer 1, and if I want the same layer but let's say above this image, then what I'm going to do is Control and J, my layer 1 gets copied. I'll just drag it and again put it anywhere else. Again, if I want to duplicate layer 1 copy, I'll just press Control and hit J and it gets copied again. So this is how you can create a duplicate layer. Okay, the next hack is adding light to your image. You have this image, but you're not happy with the kind of effect it is uh, having. So what you can do is first you can just duplicate this layer by Control and J, and then go to normal and choose the variety of modes that are here from for light. You can choose overlay if you want this kind of effect. You can choose a soft light, you can choose hard light, you can choose vivid. So these are the options that you can do for the kind of thing, the kind of image or the kind of presentation you want. So this I like, so I've just chosen multiply. So the first image has overlaid over the layer 0 and it looks perfectly fine. If I close it, you will be able to see how my original layer or original image look like. This is the original. After multiplying, this is how my image has intensified. Okay guys, this is the last hack and probably the most important for you people who are trying to do Photoshop at home and they're learning. You can undo by pressing Control and Z, and you can, if you want to undo multiple times, you press Control, Alt and Z. Okay, so and going back to first undo with Control and Z. But what if you are not able to go beyond a certain number of undos and you want more undo options? Then you can simply go to and you want to customize your number of undos, you can probably add more of it. So you can simply go to edit and choose preferences, then go to general, and here you choose performance. Okay, under performances you can see history states. You can increase the history states from 10 or whatever number is displaying, and you can increase it. When you're increasing it, it is increasing the number of undos that are possible in your file. But I'll just give you a hint that if you increase your history states, then your performance in Photoshop will decrease because it will take more time to render, and there will be problems that you're going to face while saving. So it's better that you keep it low, but if you are learning and you keep on getting stuck and you want to undo more and more, you can just change from here history states and just say okay. So this is about Photoshop hacks, and for next time, we'll be getting something more useful and probably shortcuts of Photoshop, shortcuts and essential hotkeys that are there for Photoshop. So stay tuned and keep on liking and subscribing and sharing our videos. Thank you. Bye bye.